Hi parents, I just wanted to do this video just to give you a bit of an overview of how the staff develop their program for online learning and home-based activities. We use the WA curriculum as our scope and sequence. As teachers, we get each year level, we need to look at the scope across all the 8 learning areas. And so the WA curriculum forms the basis for our work program. And so when we think about curriculum coordination, there's 5 different parts of it that I want to give you an idea of how they work together today. The first one is the curriculum itself. That is what we base our programs on. The teachers don't just make up the focus for the lessons, they look at the different learning areas and they program according to the WA curriculum. Those programs are sequential for each week of the term, for week 1 right through to week 10. Then the second term finishing at the end of the semester. And so teachers have to submit programs to their heads of school that make sure all the areas in the curriculum are covered in the time required. The WA curriculum also gives a time limit for each subject. So subjects like English and Maths have more time allocated to them. Other subjects like the arts may be spread across lesser time frames, or phys ed and health, etc. And so the teachers have to make sure they're giving the correct allocation in time to each of the learning areas as well. So there's a lot of work that goes into preparing a work program for the term and for the semester. And as a teacher becomes more experienced, they understand how to pace that. The students obviously learn at different rates, that's a challenge. The students have different abilities as well, that's another challenge. So we have to differentiate our education so that we still get through the curriculum, yet we help the students at their own pace or their own ability level. From the work program, the teachers then develop the third thing is the actual lessons. And they'll have introductions to those lessons, there'll be designated activities for those lessons, there'll be time during the lessons they'll review what they've taught, the students will then apply what they've taught to activities, there'll be opportunity for feedback and interaction. And so each lesson in itself at school would normally be like 48-50 minutes, and they're like these little bite-sized pieces of the curriculum. As they're tracking through the curriculum, the fourth area is assessments. How do they assess what the students are actually learning? What is it that they didn't know at the start of the lesson, or they didn't know at the start of that segment, and then they now know at the end? And so teachers then will have different assessment tools that they'll provide to help gather evidence to show the students learning, to show the students level of understanding. And so as you would know, when they get reports at the end of the year, they have their grades A, B, C, D and so forth. They are matched to levels of understanding that the students have. Is it just head knowledge that the child has? Or do they have the capacity to take that knowledge and apply it? So it shows they've got a greater understanding of that knowledge. Or at the top level where they take that knowledge, they apply it, but they also develop their own hypothesis. So assessments should be very good at distinguishing the different level of understanding students have. And then the fifth part of our curriculum is the reporting. How we report back to you, the parents, on how well the child is going in that particular learning area. So when we have staff in roles as curriculum coordinators, they actually help those 5 things work together. From the WA curriculum, where we develop our programs, then the learning activities that are based on the WA curriculum, the assessments assess what we should be teaching from the WA curriculum, and then we report what's also in the WA curriculum. And so the curriculum coordinator helps those 5 work together. And so even though this season of online home-based learning is taking place, our curriculum coordinators are still helping coordinate those 5. They're working with the teachers who are programming, developing the lesson activities and the presentations and the assessments, and we will still be doing the reporting. So I just want to encourage you with this video that the staff are working very hard behind the scenes to provide this for you. Your role, as I mentioned in the newsletter, is really a supervisory role. You're not responsible for programming, you're not responsible for the presentation, you're not responsible for the assessing or the reporting, etc. So I just want to put you your hearts and minds at ease, that we're not expecting that from you. Your role is just to make sure your child is actually applying themselves, giving time to do the work that's been given to them. So I hope this has given you a bit more understanding of how we use the WA curriculum. And if you've got further questions, please ask the heads of school or the curriculum coordinators or your teachers, because it's really important that we work together to help your child continue their education.